Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here at the Raptors side, just reacting to the Toronto Raptors 122-130 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. And this game is a tough one, as the Toronto Raptors have won 4 of their last 5 games. I believe they're on a 3-game win streak, had the tough game against Atlanta, and bounced back in a big way against the New York Knicks. And as people know, the Toronto Raptors are in the most important stretch of their season right now. This is where the bottom can fall out of the team, and then we end up going into a rebuilding, retooling direction going ahead of this trade deadline, which, given all the reports and rumors and stuff, it seems like that's the direction Masai Ujiri and the front office are going to end up taking. Or we could win a few of these games. We can, overcome the odds as the Toronto Raptors so often do, and, try and get some W's. And tonight, against a Milwaukee Bucks team that didn't have Giannis Antetokounmpo, that didn't have Chris Middleton out there playing for their squad, didn't have Serge Ibaka either, but Serge Ibaka's not doing too much these days for the Milwaukee Bucks and for his NBA career. But a depleted Milwaukee Bucks team, we couldn't get the job done. And I don't know, the more and more of these losses of winnable games, right? We're not playing against the regular 2-seeded Milwaukee Bucks tonight. We're playing up against not their B squad, as they still have Drew Holiday, who's absolutely amazing. He was incredible tonight. Him and Fred VanVleet put on a really impressive showing, going back and forth, dueling throughout this game. But it's not looking too hot here for the Toronto Raptors going inside of this direction. Kenneth Lau was saying, show us your tank animation. It's not made yet. I haven't fully committed, but we are going to have a Raptors therapy session in this one, because there's a lot of stuff that we have to talk about regarding this game, regarding this team. And let's dive into the players first. Let's start off with a couple positives. Let's start off with some things there, and maybe not positives for a lot of our chat and fan base. Or Raptors side, just followers, people in the community, as a lot of people are not high on Fred VanVleet right now. But you have to admit, he had a solid game in this outing. 39 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Sure, he got blown by a couple times by the Pat Connaughtons and the Grayson Allens of the world, but overall I thought he did provide a solid defensive effort, especially in terms of rebounding, picking away loose balls. But Fred VanVleet was the reason the Toronto Raptors came out of their slumps. He single-handedly went on a couple of runs for the Toronto Raptors that brought us back in the games. And regardless if you want to trade him, you don't want him on the roster, you want him gone, regardless of your opinion, you do have to admit he played a very good game. And I've been backing Fred VanVleet out here on the podcast, taking a lot of heat from you guys for saying that Fred VanVleet is an absolute garbage. But Fred VanVleet, he's a solid player, and people are bringing up the plus minus, the minus 23. Fred VanVleet was on the court for a lot of this game, and him and Siakam were sort of facing the brunt of that run where the Milwaukee Bucks, the Bucks had a couple of runs in this game where they just were absolutely cooking from the 3-point line, and the Raptors were just missing shots. It's it's not, plus minuses are something you look at for the entire season, not just from one night. But Fred VanVleet was a part of those lineups that did get cooked at times. So people are saying he just hogged the ball. I disagree. You look at the box score. Let's keep looking at it. Yeah, he had 28 shots, but he shot fairly efficiently. I mean, 6 of 12, 50% from behind the 3-point line, shooting over 50% from the field, and no one else really had their games going except Pascal Siakam, who really, even though he was pretty good at the start of the game, was pretty consistent at the beginning, he missed a few free throws there in the third quarter, just in possession after possession after possession, and that really seemed to take him out of the game. It was that's really what happened with Pascal Siakam. He didn't have a horrible night. I mean, he was remarkably efficient from the field, 8 of 13, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, but the 6 of 11 from the free throw line really took him out and just wasn't able to get his game going. I guess we'll throw out some awards progressively throughout this video, but a Golden Kazoo will go to OG Anunoby in this game, because he did play some solid defense. Again, he's always hustling, he's always doing his thing out there, but OG Anunoby didn't have the most efficient shooting night in this one. Maybe should be more of an OG's, because he doesn't really have horrific games, right? OG in this one ended up having shot 2 of 13 from the field, 0 of 4, and a few of those shots ended up going down. Really would have helped the Raptors, swing the momentum a little bit. And 5 points in tonight's outing. One of the worst games we saw from OG Anunoby this year, but again, at least he's doing his thing out there on the defensive end. But the star boy, Gary Trent Jr., I'm just gonna run through all the players. He had a solid outing tonight, and people are bringing up in the chat Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. up in their trade value, and that is very true. That is very true. Gary Trent Jr. in this one had a very, very strong performance. Right, 28 points, 10 of 19 from the field. I went down 4 threes, 4 steals. Right, picking pockets, doing his thing. But the Toronto Raptors can really get. I'll just look at the box score again. Precious Achiuwa, 11 points, 7 rebounds. Got some love from Nick Nurse, 4 of 10 from the field, but a lot of those misses came on a single possession. Juancho had a dunk. Gave up just blatantly open threes, which was brutal to see. And then Chris Boucher, only 14 minutes of run, 0 points, took 2 shots, missed them. Hustle out there from the rebounds. But it's been a common theme this season, the issues that plague the Toronto Raptors. And Dr. Mister, or with X's at the end, is saying solid defense, 130 for the game. I didn't say solid defense for the Toronto Raptors team. Don't put words into my mouth. I said OG was playing solid on-ball defense. He was blocking some shots, moving his feet. The Toronto Raptors, as a team, looked disengaged, looked discombobulated, and it's weird because we have some solid defenders on the roster. On paper, this team should be a good defensive team, and it didn't look like from at least the eye test that we were running any weird complex schemes. But we are getting blown by after blow by. We aren't closing out to shooters. And this has just been an issue, right? It was an issue for the Toronto Raptors when we had a more effective, more fluid defensive team. And now it's just getting absolutely exposed, especially against a team of the Milwaukee Bucks, 3-point shooting caliber players. And they don't even have Giannis tonight, but they were still able to just pick us apart from the 3-point line. I mean, 48% from behind the arc. A lot of that's due to those shots being open, and Portis didn't even kill us that much. He went 0 for 4. But Jrue Holiday tonight, for everything Fred VanVleet was doing on the offensive end, Jrue Holiday was kind of doing on the other end just a little bit better. Just driving the lanes, taking bumps, finishing around the rim, knocking down threes. He had 5 threes himself in this outing. And Jrue Holiday just could not be contained. Now, Fred VanVleet wasn't onto him for people ready to roast Fred VanVleet in this one. And OG wasn't really switched. So we had Gary, we had Scotty on him a lot. So, it is what it is. It's not some nights you're just not able to stop the stars on the other team, but you'd hopefully be able to stop everyone else. But we let Grayson Allen absolutely cook us. And Fred VanVleet he was on Grayson Allen for a chunk of this game. He was also on Pat Connaughton when he was out there. So it's not just Fred VanVleet's fault, but Grayson Allen, when he saw that height mismatch, was getting to the rim, hitting some shots, knocking down his threes. It was a poor outing defensively all around for the Toronto Raptors. That's not a good look. Not a good look for this team. And we just are in a very weird space right now because we have defensive talent, but the defense isn't working. We, on paper, career-wise, have 3-point shooting talent, but the 3-point shooting has not been effective for the Toronto Raptors this season. I mean, tonight, 37%. A lot of that was just due to Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. tonight. Precious Achiuwa also hit some wild shots in this one. But, I don't know. We can't beat good teams. We have the occasional glimpses of hope where everything is shown together. But tonight, even in a performance where I have basically a 40 piece from Fred VanVleet, we still can't get it done. We can't do it on a night where they don't have Giannis, where the Bucks don't have Chris Middleton. And it's just, as currently constructed, our team is built to be a middle-of-the-pack squad because we have enough talent to randomly win games, to come out there and randomly get W's, but we are not good enough to do it on a consistent basis. And another part that will confuse, or that keeps us sort of in the middle, right? We have the talent and stuff, but that's keeping us a ceiling on this team is the bench. And sure, they haven't been consistent, but Nick Nurse, man, you gotta play people you got to play someone off the bench, right? We can't run an 8-man rotation. We can't be running the Milwaukee or this game to the ground night in, night out. And that's probably part of the reason why the defense is bad. But we have guys like Thaddeus Young off the bench. We have Christian Coloco's proven to be an NBA caliber player. Heck, even Kem Birch can give you some decent, like at least 5 minutes a night, right? I always preach on this podcast how it's dumb to only give players 5 to 7 minutes because they can't get in a rhythm. But that's more so for like shooting players or people that have the ball in their hands. Kem Birch can get 5 to 7 minutes just to take the load off of Pascal or whoever we have going out there for a little bit of time. But, you know, Thaddeus Young, Malachi Flynn hasn't been great, but there's Jeff Doughton Jr. off the bench that could provide some value. I mean, we just re-signed Joe Wieskamp to another 10-day contract, and he hasn't even seen the floor for the Toronto Raptors. Like, what's the point? What's the point? Why are we bringing in people that we just aren't going to play? So, you know, if we are selling, Nurse is doing the right thing, playing these guys minutes. I guess it makes sense to sort of up their trade value and all that sort of stuff, but this is going to be a very, very intriguing, very interesting couple of weeks for the Toronto Raptors because, as I broke down in my video today, if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out, but Masai Ujiri is saying that moves will be made. The Toronto Raptors are going to be doing something come this trade deadline, whether it be rebuilding and tanking or something like that. That's one question. Or adding a piece to potentially make a little run and help us for the future. It could be something like that. But everyone in this podcast, anyone that's watched like 2 videos of the Raptors, I just know I'm a homer for these teams. I love our players. I become enchanted by our guys, people that suit up for the Toronto Raptors, but right now it's tough to watch. It's tough to be a fan of this team because, as I say in the thumbnail, we're directionless. We don't know whether we're going to win or not. The team doesn't look as fun, free-flowing, right? Even during the Tampa tank year, we had some fun with Kyle Lowry, sort of, you know, getting people going, him yapping at people while we were losing. Right, we were kind of hoping that we'd end up losing games. We got Scotty Barnes on the half of it, but I don't know. It's tough. Bucks #1. We got Bucks fans in here coming in and roasting us. We're losing on purpose. Bucks #1. That's my take. German saying he came back from basketball practice. Looks like another disappointing night for the Raptors. Wasted Fred VanVleet's and Trent's night. You know, it's not a waste for making a trade, but it's a tough one. A tough one out here. I also should mention, I should give out an award tonight. The Scotty Barnes Award. It's going to none other than Scotty Barnes himself, who in this game I thought did a really good job finishing around the rim, working around the post and stuff. You know, he was not efficient, and I don't know if I missed some shots, I missed some plays. I was surprised. I think he went on quick stretches where he's missing around the rim, obviously not knocking down his threes, but 14 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals. Scotty Barnes is a really good player, man. He is a very, very good player. So shout out to Scotty Barnes. Love the performance that he had in this squad tonight. But I don't know. The Toronto Raptors are likely going in a trade direction. They're going to make some moves. And if you guys are interested in making some money off the Toronto Raptors trade deadline, definitely check out the CoolBet app. And a lot of people have some strong predictions heading into this year's trade deadline. So if you think you know, you want to bet on where Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr. could end up going, if they end up staying, you can bet on it using the CoolBet app. See the odds right here now, right? You can bet on where Gary Trent Jr. will land. Will he end up on the Wizards? Will Pascal end up on the Warriors? Right? Will they end up staying? Right? You can bet on that directly here. So, you know, CoolBet's a sportsbook. They're regulated in Ontario. They're available all across Canada. So if you want to make some excitement, more excitement than is already existing during this trade deadline season, definitely use the link down below to sign up for the CoolBet app and use those boosts. Or you bet on those trade odds. You can also bet on any single Raptors game, NBA game, anything you're interested in. So there's all that sort of stuff. But this game was a mess. It was ugly. And maybe that's the only way to make the games more exciting, using the CoolBet app. But it is... I'm deflated, man. I'm coming out here on these videos. I can't passionately react to losses anymore because the Toronto Raptors don't seem to have that fight from the start of the game to the end of the game, right? They just don't have it. We have players that are kind of in and out, you know, in terms of getting locked in and getting out. Jason saying get the tanks out. And I'm not even fully committed to the tank just yet because we don't know what we're going to do. I mean, half the rumors that have been available are saying, oh, we're going to trade for DeAndre Ayton. We're going to trade for Miles Turner. We're going to trade for Jakob Poeltl. Win now, guys. We were even in the mix for a Bojan Bogdanovic trade. Like, that's not going to help no tank. And for a lot of these players that we're rumored to get, we probably have to give up our first round pick for this season anyway. So we can't be rooting overtly for losses just yet if we know that Masai Ujiri is going to end up making a win now move. So I don't know. People want the tanks. Throw out your tank emoji sound in the paint. But I also want to talk about, before I completely diverge into tank talks, but the OG's play of the day. It's going to Brook Lopez and OG himself and Gary Trent Jr. because tonight I haven't seen this one. I've seen people go at headbands, untie shoes and all that, but Gary Trent Jr. and Brook Lopez end up getting tangled up tonight. They're kind of tangled up underneath the rim. Brook Lopez wasn't having it. He ended up ripping off Gary Trent Jr.'s headband, threw it on the floor. OG ended up pushing him. It ended up being a big old, scuffle going on, and then Jamal McGlure, the big cat, former Toronto Raptor, and now, I guess still Toronto Raptor, former Toronto Raptor player, now assistant coach, came out there on the court, and he was ready. He was Jamal McGlure and Bobby Portis. That would be a fight that I'd be a very entertaining matchup, 1v1 there, Bobby Portis and Jamal McGlure, but it is what it is. It was a fun stuff. And the Bucks number one. Bucks would have won back-to-back if it wasn't for Middleton injured last year. The Bucks without Middleton this year, 29-16. Your record's 20-25. Yeah, but we don't have a Mickey Mouse ring. Our ring is our real one, folks. We ended up beating the Milwaukee Bucks. We don't lose to the Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs, so hold your L, Bucks fans. We're getting Victor Wembanyama. But I think trading Trent would be a big mistake for the Raptors, says DJ Vega. Make some trades to get some picks, free up some cap space for the offseason, and re-sign Trent. I'm definitely cool with re-signing Trent. I love his approach. I love his, coming in, knocking down some shots. It's tough to give up shooters, but if we think he's going to leave, then you have to trade him away. But if you think you can keep him, think you can pay him the right price, then that's a positive there. The Raps are toast. Fred will come out during the presser and talk about it. He's the leader of this team. Hey, that is what it is. But you still would have lost to the Warriors. The Warriors were good. I don't know. To be fair, as much as there are rivals, I usually end up rooting for the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm a big Giannis fan. I like the Milwaukee Bucks players. I can't lie. So, as much as I'm gonna go at Bucks fans, I'm going to. I love Drew Holiday's game. I've been a big Drew Holiday fan since he was with the Sixers back in the day. So that's shout out the Bucks players. But I love watching them get smacked by the Raptors. But starters can get much help from the bench, yet the bench didn't get many minutes. Heavy minutes these days, wild. Yeah, you're completely right there, Isaac. But Ben, did you hear that Atlanta's open to accepting offers for Trae Young? That would be a haul. We would have to give up so much assets for Trae Young. And honestly, the way Nick Nurse loves to not play players that don't play defense, then why you might end up benching Trae Young. So that might be tough. But I'd love to see Trae if we can get him for the right price in Toronto. But I guarantee you, you are a bandwagon. No one liked the Bucks in 2013, 2014, unless you're from there. Fair. Victor for the win. Let's go. Tank for Wemby. We have no shooters. I'll re-sign Trent for not $25 million though. The Warriors are lucky we didn't face them. Okay. The Bucks are good. The game plan: VanVleet for Mo Bamba, Suggs, and 2 firsts. Imagine we trade for Jalen Suggs after all the drama this fan base ended up going at Jalen Suggs with when we had drafted Scotty. That would be poetic. That'd be funny. But then get Victor and re-sign Gary. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't mind that timeline. I like a better Cole Anthony in my opinion. But Trae won't ever win you a chip. They ended up making a little champion. Was it conference finals run a couple years ago? I'm a Trae Young. I'm a fan of Trae Young. His defense is no cap. Develop Trae's hidden defense. If someone can develop Trae's hidden defense, hopefully it's the Toronto Raptors. But we have a super chat coming in from Jason Watson saying, being a Raptors fan is essentially like a Blues fan. And Jason, I've started to pick up on the Leafs a little bit more in recent years, given we have the Leafs Digest YouTube channel. And under the old wing, I can't imagine it's as bad as Toronto Maple Leafs fans. Because, you know, we were really good there for a while. We were very good there for a while. And my volume is always low. Can't, is it bad? Is it bad? I don't know. I think I usually have it turned up because I'm usually way more energetic. But tonight, I'm just feeling deflated. I'm feeling cheesed about the Raptors losing these games. So that's what's happened. Brento saying the Hawks might accept Gary Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet. Yeah, I'm doing that deal. As much of a Fred VanVleet homer as I am. I am acquiring Trae Young for Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. I'm doing that. No doubts, no thoughts, just doing it. But Gary Trent Jr., Flynn for Shamet, Cam Johnson campaign. Cam Johnson would be intriguing, but that's what's happening. But I'm not sure about that one. We had a good run. Yeah, the Raptors were good. But it is getting tough, stuck in mediocrity right now. We could hide Trae Young on defense. Yeah, I completely agree, Brandon. Like, for Fred and Gary, you do it. But if it's like, if they're asking for Siak, like, if they're asking for a Kevin Durant-esque package that they were looking for the summer, I'm not doing that deal. But if it's something like that, then that's what's happening. But realistically, trade Kem, Thad, and for Giannis. Aiden, I like where you're coming from. Brand saying the volume's good. Sounds good. Do you think your team is making the playoffs? Bucks #1. I think this team is capable of making the playoffs. Whether or not we want to, is the question. Play in for what, as Masai Ujiri says. But I've made a prediction earlier in the season that we're going to be a top 3 seed. And it's not looking too hot at this point. But I don't know. I appreciate Bucks One saying he thinks the Raptors will make it. But can't wait until the trade deadline passes without us making a move and we end up as the 9th seed. Ben, you gotta chill with that one, man. You gotta chill with that one. But that's gotta get a big. That's a priority #1. Definitely agree, Raj. Whether we're tanking or not, it'd be cool to get a big man in here, or at least play Christian Koloko some minutes. Let him develop, guys. And Max is saying, I will stop watching this team if they keep Pascal and Fred VanVleet without a superstar. They aren't taking us nowhere. I don't know. I just want to see a shakeup. I want to see our roster like make some sense, play fun. If Fred VanVleet and Pascal are on the roster, I'm definitely cool with it. But we have to make moves. Fred was chucking at the end. That's fair. Fred VanVleet isn't a clutch time player. But it's tough. We ain't making any playoffs. Not taking us nowhere. Great education, Max. What are people saying? Oh, they're Rawson. Tyson's saying checking in. What's up, Tyson? Appreciate you checking in on us in our Raptors therapy session. But I'd rather have a lottery pick than be in the 6th seed. If we could be the 6th seed, I'd be cool with it. I'd be cool with the 6th seed, honestly. We're out of the play-in and stuff. That means we're playing better because the Eastern Conference is pretty wide open at this point. I mean, the Bucks are great. The Celtics are great and all that sort of stuff, but a rolling Toronto Raptors team, I love watching this team in the playoffs. But again, it's got to be like a trending upward 6th seed rather than trending downwards. Like, we don't want to be the Bulls of last year. We want to be the Raptors of last year. But that didn't end up working out well for us. But Lord 2 Senpai is saying, would you trade for Brandon Ingram? Heck yeah, I would, but I feel like that would be a big haul in return there, even though he's dealt with some injuries, so maybe they'd be willing to give him up. But we need to trade up for Victor. Can't spell his name. I don't know. If it's a risk trading up for Victor because, you know, no one's going to trade away Victor Wembanyama once they have the pick, but they might be able to trade for any player. Like, they might be able to trade for a pick of this season, and then it ends up being unprotected, all that sort of stuff. But Bucks is saying, yes, you guys are. I predict you're making a huge comeback after the All-Star break. I have faith, even though I'm not a fan. I appreciate you, Bucks. And I genuinely believe in this team, too, if we are fully engaged. But the Toronto Raptors always exceeded expectations the previous year because it might be a weird thing to say, but the vibes were always The Raptors always just came in ready to work, ready to grind. They wouldn't go on lulls. Sure, we didn't have the talents at some point. Sure, we didn't have the defensive focus, the energy, and a large part of that was Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry just really motivating the squad, getting everyone going through thick and thin. And Fred VanVleet is supposed to be the leader of this team, but the fact that he's having a down year has really hurt this team's morale and stuff. We have Gary Trent Jr. not happy, according to CJ McCollum and all that. We don't feel like the Toronto Raptors right now, which makes me less confident, even though I think we have a lot of talent on this team. Alex is saying no thanks to playoffs. Not enough upside to warrant playing for sweep. Yeah, definitely fair assessment there. But I like how when Fred plays bad, he gets the game time shots, but when he plays good, he don't get them. Yeah, true. Raptors last year exit in round 1. Why would you be like last year? It's like an upward trajectory, Kenneth. And we were injured last year. We were a young team. We're coming into our own. I like that direction, but things just haven't worked out in terms of this season. At least it's not worse than the Tampa year. Oh, just you wait, Gurman. It can get bad. But I like Lopez, but that was whack. I like the Lopez brothers too, but you gotta chill with throwing headbands, Brooke. Don't be at that. Don't be touching another man's headband. But Raj is saying the vibes were solid last year. Now they're unhappy. Chemistry is gone. Yeah, that's key. That's a key thing. If you really watch the game, you were at best when Fred VanVleet was on the bench. I don't know. The Toronto Raptors, he was like matching minutes with Drew Holiday. So, like, you could also say when Drew Holiday was off the court. So, yo, Ben, get this Bucks fan out of the chat. Honestly, he seems like a friendly guy. I like it when people other teams come into the chat. Fred was a -23 tonight. Not a good game. Hey, I thought he had his moments. The Fred VanVleet haters will always come in. 61 points. Need 61 points to break even on the plus minus. Yikes. Yeah, that's how it is. German, that's not true. Fred VanVleet is injured, playing too many minutes. Fair. I feel like the Tampa year was more entertaining. Like, I feel like this season will get juiced up once we fully tank. I don't know. Like the Tampa year, we really leaned into, I don't know, what was it? The Aaron Baines pylon emoji. We were throwing out every second sentence. We had Aaron Baines popping up on the screen. We had Aaron Baines' mom DMing us on Instagram. She thought that the Raptors Digest Instagram page was the Toronto Raptors Instagram page. So she was hitting us up, like thanking us for the flowers that we sent her. I guess the Raptors organization sent Barbara Baines, Aaron Baines' mom, some flowers and stuff, and she was hitting us up saying thank you and all that, like the Raptors side. And we were just rolling with it. And Goody was running our Instagram at the point. I think he asked her to be on a podcast or something. We were like, what? I don't know. That's get Barbara Baines back here. Gotta get that. That season we had the Raptors Digest concert too, by accident. Had lots of fun stuff that season. I feel like Tampa year is more entertaining. Yeah, that's Brooke is on Embiid level in my eyes now. No more respect. Can't be chucking headbands. That's how you get it. But I was really hoping we'd win. I got exams tomorrow, coming off a terrible loss in Milwaukee. Tyson, that's tough. Study up for those exams though. Do better in those exams than the Raptors did in this game. But I bet on the Raptors first quarter spread and got dumped. Bucks are crazy. Yeah, that's true. Ben, do you like to go to the store and buy some of the most important things? Love the store. But our offense is ISO with Nick Nurse. Yeah, and Daniel saying that he's denial. I'm not a Fred VanVleet hater, but just look at the numbers and how at times he kills the chemistry. 2 times he went hero mode and fast breaks and opportunities for a better shot. Yeah, that's Kyle Lowry-esque though. That's Kyle Lowry-esque. But our offense is ISO. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. Yo, Philly is 100 times worse than what Lopez did today. True. I'm not a hater of the Bucks. I'm not out here. You should have gave more. I know who you're talking to. Throwing at the lulls. Bucks number 1's got some final exams tomorrow. Good luck on those old finals, Bucks 1. Do better than the Raptors. Crush those exams like the Bucks crushed the Raptors today. But you know, she deserves flowers. Her offspring got us, Scotty. Let's go. Then the real Raptors page, not gonna lie. What can I say? Start making some TikToks. I was hoping my the YouTube short I put out today. I thought that was funny. The Scotty Barnes. If people didn't check out that short, definitely check that out. But how's Baines doing? I think he's recovered from his injuries. I think he's doing well. Yeah, shout out to everyone that's dealing with exams right now. I do not miss the old exam seasons. Do not miss those. Pascal taking only 13 shots because Fred took 30. Fair. Fred was hitting tonight though. Fred was hitting tonight. He's not Kyle Lowry. Agree. Ruels. Josh and the chat in the live are calling Grayson Morant. Grayson Morant. What? Why? Everyone who's your most hated team? Most hated team, the Clippers. I'm a Clippers hater. And the Nets. What am I talking about? I hate the Nets. Nets are my least favorite squad. Organization. Clippers for now. But Raptors fan, you remembered our 3-game winning streak. Minutes of happiness, but missed huge opportunities to get Victor. Yeah, short-term games for long-term losses. Baines playing again in Australia. Tried to get back in the NBA this year. Shout out to Baines. Why did we sign Wieskamp? They won for the Raptors 905, Tyson. Let's go. But we should sign Baines at some point. For the culture. But not a single minute. What's happening? The chat is flying out here. Philly at Bucks 1 with the beard. The Ed Sheeran look. With the glasses. More like Ed Sheeran with the glasses without them. I'll wear my contacts later at night. But with the glasses, I get it a lot. Do I keep the beard, folks? Do I keep it rocking or what? I'm a Bucks hater. Kevin Garnett showed love to Scotty. Love to see it. And Riker did pick a tremendous year to load manage. That is very good. And that short had me tying in class today. People looking at me like I was crazy. Let's go, Aiden. I'm trying to get better at video editing. I'm pretty nice with it, but I'm not quick with stuff, so I can't bust out enough shorts. I don't like being saying I'm busy and stuff on pods. I love the stuff, but I love the pods more. I want to get more love for the video editing stuff and get some weird stuff going. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's get an interview with the fake Jake for some side content. You know, trying to launch a bunch of channels out here to digest media. If you're interested in any other teams, we got the Habs, we got the Jays, we got the Leafs. You know, got a lot more stuff cooking for the season. I'm also thinking about cooking a few more things up. So, it's messed up. Max Kelly. What's Max saying? Siakam and VanVleet are the bootleg version of DeRozan and Lowry. That's cold. That's cold. But he was slashing on us, making some crazy shots, cooking us. Hey, he was making some crazy plays. But Ja Morant is on another level. Like, we can't be comparing Grayson Allen to Ja Morant. I guess I make some wild comparisons, so. But that's hilarious. But let's see what people are saying. German wants to blow it up. The Suggs trade would be fun. Giannis finishing top 5 at the end of his career. If Giannis came to the Raptors in 2021, top 5 for sure. That's what's happening. That's a fact. Yeah, Sixers. People hate the Sixers from Raptors, but grow the beard. People like the beard. Good stuff. I think Wieskamp is a guy, pure shooter, 42-inch vertical. I'd like to see him play. I'd just love to see him just get out there on the court, give him a few minutes. And what reality are you living in? German? How do you plan for that to happen? And he's talking about he's calling me a German. Like, I'm not from Germany. But I would have liked for us to run through either Pascal or Scotty tonight. Scotty Barnes, I like having the ball in his hands. Agreed. Figured out why we've been so bad this season. It's also because of Riker being MIA. Fair. He's already top 15. All he has to do is win a couple more championships, MVPs, top 5. Hey, I'm a big Giannis fan, not a big Bucks fan. So I will neither confirm nor deny your top 5 take. OG is the man. He signed all my jerseys. OG is the GOAT. OG is the GOAT. And what shoes? Got a signed pair of MJs. Signed pair of Jordans. What is it? 8 of 23. Signed 8 of those models. So that's what we got displayed in the back. The Raptors a ring, a couple hats and stuff, some Kobe's. Show off the old Kobe's I wore at Nationals. Should probably switch up the shoes every now and then. I got a bunch of old. Here's Kobe's that it's too beaten up to really rock out with. Little studio tour. That was a joke. Our defense is so bad. You had to be there. I had to be there. Yeah, I'm just in a weird state right now. The Raptors got me feeling strange, folks. They got me feeling strange. 10-day contract, play 0 minutes, no sense. Agreed. Hey, I could provide the same value as Joe Wieskamp, at least on the court. Sign me, Toronto. Like, I'd straight up grind in practice. I would be out there training my butt off out there. I'd be training like 10 hours a day if the Toronto Raptors gave me a 10-day contract. I could definitely provide some value for the Raptors, just as much as Wieskamp if we're both playing 0 minutes. But the Sixers just ain't it. Although Maxi's cool. I do like Tyrese Maxey. I do like him. Bring back Freddie Gillespie. Let's go. But it's really all Fred VanVleet's fault this year. If he was playing efficiently, the season goes very differently. I wouldn't put it all on Fred VanVleet, but he definitely deserves a big chunk of the blame. I don't disagree with you, Genfro, but I don't think he's all to blame. And what if they get hurt playing so many minutes? They have good enough games. They don't need to completely hurt him. True. Who's win MVP? Luka. Luka's probably the move. Joker's pretty good. Who's it? Tatum's playing pretty well. Freestyle Ben. I'd be cooking out there on the court. Freestyle balling. Saw Wieskamp play for the 905. His jumpers, butters. Defense is pretty bad. His NBA offense might be chicken or whatever meat that is. Yeah. I didn't get to watch those 905 games, but I'd like to see him on the court. See if he can do something out there for the Raptors. But man, I thought the Raptors will trade OG, keep Fred VanVleet. Instead, giving me the chills. This is even worse than trading Gary Trent Jr. over Fred VanVleet. Yeah, if they trade OG for not like a lucrative package, then I will be sad. It's just how it's gonna go. But yeah, I don't know. Giannis could get it too, but people have that MVP fatigue. Folks, been talking for 40 minutes. It's an ugly game for the Toronto Raptors. Appreciate everyone that tuned into this live stream. And again, definitely subscribe to the channel if you made it this far. If you're one of the 113 people who made it this far, not subscribe to the channel. Mean the world to me to hit that sub button. We're really close to 27k subs, so we got to make a little push for that. I'll start plugging that in the old videos. But you know, the ones that make it through these lives during this time of year, during these eras of Toronto Raptors basketball, it will all be paid off when we start winning chips again. So Bucks 1 is asking how often do you stream? Try to stream after most Toronto Raptors games. This year's it's been a little bit tough, but been coming out for most of them. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start streaming like a couple times a week just to talk about not specifically games, so get a couple of those going. But good luck to everyone that's in their exams. I've seen a lot of people saying doing their exam season, so wishing the best for everyone. Great grades for everyone. German's getting bullied for being a Toronto Raptors fan, so stand up to those bullies, German. People are happening. Brandon saying it was a great therapy session, so I'm glad that I could provide the best therapy possible. So let's get that animation going one last time. Is it gonna work? It's gonna work. Yeah, get the Raptors therapy session for one final go. But I appreciate everyone. Again, shout out to Bucks number 1 saying I'm subscribing then, because this is probably the best live stream I've ever been on. Great work. Hey, I appreciate it, Bucks number 1. This definitely felt like one of our more deflated live streams, our sadder ones out here, but trying to keep the positive energy going. But I appreciate you tuning in, giving the takes. And Ben's the only person that keeps my mental health sane. Another Raptors therapy session for the squad. But people are bringing out the Ed Sheeran. Hey, one day I'll be able to sing like Ed Sheeran, and then things will be great. But appreciate everyone. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.